Welcome everybody to this video. My name is Ali. Today we're going to do a video about a weekly recap of everything that happened within the crypto market. Just a quick summary, and we're going to look at the charts from a lot of different perspectives to see and conclude what we can expect in the upcoming periods. First of all, the FOMC meeting. The United States Federal Reserve increases benchmark interest rates by 75 basis points to a range of 1.5 to 1.75% in June. What does it mean if the Federal Reserve increase the basis points? So basically, by raising borrowing rates, the Federal Reserve makes it costlier to take out a mortgage or an auto or business loan. So this basically means that it is going to be more expensive to get a loan. So what most of the people are going to do is, like, in these times, people are going to invest their money to fight the increasing prices of the product, to fight inflation, because the dollar and if you look at the fiat, it's losing its purchasing power. So that's one of the reasons why I think, like, that the pump, if you look at the chart of Bitcoin, why Bitcoin pumped over the past days. So we're gonna have to look and expect what can happen in the future. But first, another thing that I want to discuss is, like, Biden is telling us that we are not in a recession. From my perspective and in my opinion, we are definitely in a recession. And something that I want to point out is the page in Wikipedia. If you look at Wikipedia, Wikipedia has changed the definition of recession. Way back, last capture was July 11, 2022. Based on Wikipedia's changelog, the line "there is no global consensus on the definition of recession" was added on July 27. So here's the proof. Let's read it together. In economics, a recession is a business cycle contraction where there is a general decline in economic activity. So we see that people are saving their money more instead of spending it because everything is so expensive. Recessions generally occur when there is a widespread drop in spending. This may be triggered by various events such as a financial crisis and an external trade shock. So basically, this means that ever since the pandemic happened, we saw that the government printed a lot of money. All the big companies and big institutions started to get loans from the Federal Reserve, and this basically this basically resulted that there is more dollar in the whole economy than there is actually that we need. So it's an unlimited supply. So that basically also means that the price of one product is going to increase because there's too much dollar in it. And what happens if your income doesn't increase the same way they printed money? People are going to save their money. They're going to be afraid to spend money, and this eventually result in a recession. And that is very dangerous. And if you look at what they changed on the Wikipedia page on July 28th, we see that they changed the definition to "there is no global consensus on the definition of a recession," meaning they're using Wikipedia also to deceive people to find out the definition of a recession, to make them believe that we are not in a recession. We are definitely in a recession. The whole economic model doesn't lie about it. Everything we see around it doesn't lie about it. So keep that in mind. Um, Also, this is also something that I want to point out is the results in Bitcoin compared to stocks and gold. If you look at the Bitcoin return on investments over the past 10 years, we can see that Bitcoin is the best performing asset compared to gold and S&P 500. So this is one of the reasons why I keep telling people that why is it that Bitcoin outperforms these assets? It's because Bitcoin has a limited supply. It's 21 million, while the US dollar doesn't have it. Doesn't have a limited supply. And if you look at gold and S&P 500, these two assets are majorly controlled by big institutions. They already have the majority of the gold. So there's not big of return on investment to be made in these type of assets. So that is one of the main reasons why I also jumped into cryptocurrency, because I saw the return on investment. As an investor, my goal is to make money. It's that simple. So that is the main reason why I study crypto, and I saw the potential of it. And they cannot steal the Bitcoin out of your hand, because if you buy a Bitcoin, you put it on a ledger, it's yours. They cannot take it away, and that's the beauty of it. All right. Um, let's discuss another thing. One thing is clear: the founding fathers never intended a nation where citizens would pay nearly half of everything they earn to the government. It means basically paying taxes and so on. So if you get a job, you need to pay taxes. If you start a company, you need to pay taxes as well. So we can see that taxes, inflation, all these type of stuff are basically models for the elites to gain passive income out of us. They don't have to work anymore. They can literally print the money that we are fighting for. If you look at the Federal Reserve, so all the only thing that they need more is getting more control and power over the citizens, because it is also like an addiction to get more power, be more powerful. They want to control us more, and that is through the digital world. And that is one of the main reasons why I believe that cryptocurrency is here to stay, blockchain technology is here to stay, because that is a way for them to control us even more, to put our data, personal data, on the digital blockchain, so they can see everything, they can track everything, they can see where we go, and so on. That is also one of the main reasons why they pretend to fight climate change. They want to implement, the electric cars, so they can control and see everything where we go when we travel. And if we disobey the law, they're just going to turn our devices off. It's that simple. And that is like one of the main things that I'm thinking about. Like, having a digital revolution is good, but if it's in the wrong hand, it's going to be really bad. But either way, as an investor, I know that digital the digital area um, is going to go parabolic in the upcoming years, and I'm going to make money out of this. It's that simple. That's one of the reasons why I invest in it. Okay, in just last 3 years, the Federal Reserve has increased its balance sheet by over 5 trillion. 5 trillion. That amount of money in perspective, okay? So this is a $10 bill. This is 1 million in 100 bills. Okay, this is 100 million compared to human being. This is 1 billion. And then we have 1 trillion. And can you imagine, they printed 5 trillion in the past 3 years. Who's going to pay them back? Who? We can never, the earnings that we as citizens get, um, and the amount of taxes that we have to pay is never going to be enough to pay back the loans. It's never going to be enough, because those big institutions, they're not paying taxes anyway, because they have all those company structures in different countries to avoid taxes, to become richer. So who are they going to tax? The small business companies and the citizens. And if you look at what we earn, it's never going to be enough to pay the amount of loan back, because there's interest on top of it. So that is like one of the reasons why I think like this is insane. They're going to just take more control and more power over us. Okay, that is something that I want to point out to you guys. We're going to look at the chart first, at several charts before we're going to discuss other chart from other TA guys. So let's start with the S&P 500, because what the S&P 500 does, that's something that Bitcoin does as well. We're going to look at the daily chart, and we can see that we broke out of the falling downtrend since the 18th of June 2022. And we have seen 2 fake outs, 1 and 2. And this is also one of the reasons why I drew this line, because I want us to stay above this resistance line as well. Otherwise, we can just make another fake out and then drop back down. And this is not going to be good for Bitcoin, because everything, the stocks and Bitcoin, they're correlated with each other. So we still have 1 day to go before the weekly candle closes. So we're still going to have to wait what's going to happen. Let's see what's gonna happen. Let's look at the dollar. If you look at the dollar and Bitcoin are basically the opposites of each other. If dollar increases, Bitcoin decreases. If dollar decreases, Bitcoin increases. So what we see over here is that the dollar, it broke its support line. So what's gonna happen is it's gonna retest this line, this support line over here, and then I'm gonna expect to see a rebound of it and see if we can go for another try to break this resistance line. So, but during this time, when this support line is being broken, it's gonna be very favorable for Bitcoin, and that is one of the reasons why Bitcoin is increasing. Look, I'm gonna show you the chart. Two charts. Left one is dollar. You can see it over here, and right one is Bitcoin. So you can see over here. I'm gonna do it on the daily time frame, so you can see it better. This also daily time frame. So we can see that if the dollar decreases, we can see that Bitcoin increases. Bitcoin increase, dollar decrease. So it's the complete opposites of one another. So this is also one of the reasons why I look at different charts beside Bitcoin. Okay, let's look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, of course. The Bitcoin dominance chart, I want to see if Bitcoin dominance is going to increase over time or if the altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin. So this is also something that I'm going to look at. if it's going to retest this resistance line and then go for another up run, or we can just keep going down, and that means that altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin. Let's look at the price of Bitcoin itself. We broke out of the bear flag. We broke positive out of it because of the FOMC meeting, and we can see on the daily time frame we are bullish, and we have a bullish MACD, bullish stochastic RSI. So I expect a pullback soon, just to retest it and then continue our way up. Or we still have 1 day to go, and I really want to see if we can close above this level, 22k. If we can close above that, it's going to be really good for Bitcoin. So yeah, let's look at the total market cap of Bitcoin. The total market cap of Bitcoin, we retested the previous all-time high. We got a really nice bounce out of it, and now we're just making our new move way up. And probably it's something gonna be result in an inverted head and shoulder, something like this. And then we have a resistance line, and then we're just gonna move something like this up, and then retest, fall again, and then make a cup and handle pattern, and then hopefully break this previous all-time high. That is something that I'm expecting what's going to happen, but we'll see. The total market cap excluded Bitcoin, so this is only the altcoin market, and we can see the same patterns playing out. If we look at the Ethereum chart, we saw a lot of bullish indication, a ascending triangle, and we also broke the downtrend that happened ever since November 2021. So we finally broke out of it, and hopefully we can close the week above these two resistance line. That is first this one, the yellow line, and then we have another resistance line of 1.1700, something like that. If we can close above this, it's going to be really bullish, and it's going to be really positive for the Bitcoin and crypto market. All right, let's look at other charts from other TA experts in the space that have been longer in the market than I am. Bitcoin 2020 and versus 2022 correction mode. Current RSI governance pattern repeat over and over. So if we look at 2020 and we look at the RSI level, and we look at 2022, the price structure and the RSI indicator, they're basically one-on-one. We can see the patterns playing out, but a little bit of different. So we can expect some pullback before we make new moves, new attempts to break the previous all-time high. All right, macro Bitcoin forecast based on wave symmetry, highly speculative. So post 2023 remains my greatest uncertainty relative to macroeconomic and equity market health. That is true. I don't know what's going to happen within 1 year, but we'll see. Partially invested in thesis and partially trading the shorter term to manage risk. So basically what it's telling is like take your profits if the market is going to rebound, because what we can also expect if Bitcoin is going to make new all-time high, we can still have the big correction that's coming up, the recession, and then the market is going to plummet. So we have 2010 and 2014 weekly time frame, and then we have 2015 and 2025 on the 3 weekly time frame. We can see some we can see looking at this indicator, we can see some patterns and structures. There are one-on-one with this new cycle that's coming up on bigger time frame. So all we got to do is like be patient and just be flexible when it comes to trading, because your strategy that worked in the previous cycle doesn't work in the same cycle over here, because the time changes, the circumstances changes, the whole economy is changing. So you need to be like a you need to be able to adapt on every situation. That's when it comes to investing. Keep your knowledge always up to date. All right, Bitcoin enters a huge bull run, bullish reversal rounding chart pattern. So if we look at 2019 and we look at the volume, we can see the volume is increasing over time, and it's going to increase its price. And we can see the same thing happen in 2020. Also the volume increasing and the price increasing, and now we can see it back in 2022. So it's going to be really bullish for Bitcoin and altcoins, but we'll see over time. But when the price is going to increase over time, pullbacks have to happen so we can shake out some more people and then make new moves to all-time high. Okay, Bitcoin bottom and top cheat sheet, 22-day plus RSI. So if you look at the RSI, we can look at the resistance line and we can look at the support line. This is each candle visualizes 22 days. So we can see that when the bottom is playing out, um, we can see that the bottom is currently in according to this chart. So there's a new wave of bull run coming up. And this indicates that we might have seen the bottom of this cycle. Bitcoin seems ready to continue this uptrend and to break 24.3k resistance soon. Time, price, action support zones, and oscillator tell us we're due. Absolute strength index oscillator is showing in sentiment change and a bullish signal line crossing. So if you look at the chart, we can see at the previous cycle, the previous bull run, it was at 20k. We can see that the correction lasted for 236 days. We have the same thing, 236 days. And then we have this indicator showing that we're making a reversal that's coming up. And the same thing is happening, but in a different cycle. All right, let's continue. Really so exciting how 2014 and 16 cycle is now repeated. The TSI is moving in the same uptrend. Moving averages has now crossed. So if you look at 2014 and 16, we can see that we have the same triple top forming, but it was more in a downtrend, and this is forming a higher high and then a lower high. But we can see if this is gonna play out. What I also learned from experience is that a lot of people who are bullish, they are gonna look for reasons and other charts just to prove their point. So all we gotta do as investor is to have an open mind and also keep in mind of the bearish perspective. So please stay aware of that. Bitcoin is ready for a massive bull run. So we look at the 2 weekly candles. Bitcoin, we can see the volume peak, and then it's increasing over time. So here's target is 280k, nearly at the end of 2024. So, and that was also my target for this cycle, but it didn't turn out that well. So yeah, I really had to take my profits. Cycle bottom comparison, the similarities so far are incredible. So if we look at 2014, 18, and 22, this is the information that you can find about this indicator, and then you can see like the same pattern playing out over and over in the past cycle. So let's just see if this is gonna play out the same. Bitcoin bullish rounding bottom pattern. This is not a bear flag. So if we look at the theory of chart patterns, we can see the rounding bottom pattern is playing out. We have 5 touches at the support line, and then we're just gonna make our move way up. This was let's see, 22k. So the resistance line is around 33k. So if we break 33k, we can see and expect a nice move coming up. Altcoin market capitalization, really ideal level to enter and ride the alt season. So basically what it's indicating is like the cycle bottom that is pointing out and new wave that's coming up. So there's a lot of money flowing into the altcoin market. So I'll always have a diversified portfolio to benefit and yeah, make money in both assets, Bitcoin and altcoins. Okay, all right, Ethereum alt season. Isn't it incredible how Ethereum continues to copy the structure of the cycle back in 2016 and 17? Even the RSI makes similar moves. Biggest altcoin since January 17th, January 17th and June 17th, possibly ahead. I think we are in for the most exciting part of the whole cycle. So the last hurrah, the last move coming up is now playing in the chart. So we have Ethereum back in 2016 and 17, and then we have Ethereum in 2021, 2022. The same RSI divergences and the moving averages cross, and we have the same price structure playing out in the charts. Alt season holds 2018 January summary support. Total market cap same as December 2018. I expect accumulation at the current level and new wave. So basically accumulation means that people are buying in now waiting, and then the last move is coming up. So yeah, we gotta be patient. It's gonna take a lot of time though. Let's discuss some news. 90% of Bitcoin has been mined. 95% of Bitcoin will be mined 2026. 99% of Bitcoin will be mined 2035. So we're not that far away from 2026, 26 and 2035. So if you just hodl, you will eventually make money. Just all you got to do in this market and investing is to be patient. That is something what that Warren Buffett said. Investing stocks, basically market is made to change wealth from the impatient to the patient. That's all you got to do. You need to have a lot of patience and see through all the negative news that's coming up. Breaking news: Saudi investors have expressed interest in El Salvador's 5 largest projects. So Bitcoin puts you on the earth. Japan cryptocurrency lobbying groups to submit proposals to lower tax on digital asset. This means that if they're lobbying, they definitely know that they can make a lot of money on digital asset. And digital asset is cryptocurrency, NFTs, and so on. Everything that is put on the blockchain and in Web3. So it's gonna definitely gonna be the future. Mercedes-Benz taps Polygon to build data sharing platform. So even they are here to implement and make use of these blockchain networks. United States sets 1.74 billion deal with Moderna for updated COVID vaccine. So when the winter is coming up, we have fall and we have winter coming up. We know that a lot of people are getting sick as well, so they're going to put a lot of money into Moderna to give another booster vaccine, which means that the Moderna is going to make a lot of money. So if you buy their stocks, you're going to make money as well. So play the game with them. And they're going to enforce some laws and whatever to make sure that you're going to take these vaccines. FTX is an exchange, wins full approval to operate crypto exchange in Dubai. It means that rich investors in Dubai now have access to FTX, which means that FTX coin is going to increase in value as well. So more people with more wealth are coming into the crypto market. So more money means more return on investment. Justin, El Salvador finance minister will announce more Bitcoin related projects in coming months. So this is very bullish. They're going to continue their development in crypto projects and so on. Justin, Charles Schwab, 8 trillion in assets to list a crypto ETF on the New York Stock Exchange next week. This is so bullish. Let's see what that is going to happen. Cryptocurrency has the potential to become part of our everyday lives, U.S. Senator Pat Toomey. So even they acknowledge now openly to the public that cryptocurrency, the technology behind cryptocurrency, which is blockchain, is going to be implemented in our daily lives, which means digital payments, digital certificates, which you can translate into NFTs, such as medical records, fingerprints, driver license, passports, vaccines, medical records. Everything can be put on the blockchain, and they can track everything digitally of you and wherever you've been, and so on. And they can just basically microchip it in your body and just scan your chip, and then they have all the information about you. So what this means is total control of the human population. This is what they mean with the Great Reset, and this is something that I'm sure about that what's going to happen, and the pandemic just showed that we actually made a huge leap into the digital world. So that is basically the weekly recap for this video. I'm going to try to do this every Saturday, and yeah, let's see what's going to happen in the upcoming weeks, upcoming months, and as always, happy learning.